All right, a little bit of redemption on a coyote that I missed. I actually missed 2 coyotes tonight and ended up getting the second one that I missed. I called it back twice and got it with another weapon. So first place I went, called in a coyote, but man, it took like 30 minutes for this coyote to come in. They weren't on the property, they were off the property. I was actually leaving and I caught it coming up to where I called. It was going up to where I had called, and I missed that coyote with the thermal. Thought maybe it was me, so I came here, looked for hogs a little bit, and I was up at the front field, and I heard a bunch of coyotes back here. Came back here to set up, and as I was getting out of my vehicle and walking up the road, man, there was a group of about 3 back in there. I mean, there was coyotes everywhere right now, but there was an aggressive group of 3, and there was one really aggressive man. He was just a barking. And I normally can't call them up the hill. So what I did is I went down in the bottom field. I get them to wrap around. They like to come up above and look down at me, look down at the call. So I'm down there and I put on Amy interrogation predator tactics call, and I get 2 howls in, and I look up on top of the hill and one's already coming. And a little bit of a jam because my lanyard broke on my thermal scanner. I'm holding the thermal scanner, I'm holding the remote. I didn't even get a chance to shut it off. I'm jamming it in my pockets. I got to get lanyards again. I got to get back serious to this because I got on the coyote, and I'll throw the video up here, man. And I missed that coyote, and it runs up on top the hill here. I get back on that howl, and it stops up there. I go to coyote scrap, and I get it to come back out of the woods and come back down toward me. But then the group behind me starts to howl again and go crazy. This coyote turns and goes back into those woods right down along the property line. So now what I'm gonna do is I go out and get my call, just shut everything down. I've missed 2 coyotes now with the thermal. I gotta re-sight it in. What I'm gonna do is I run over, get the ATNX sight LTV with the 300 blackout, and I'm gonna just do a totally different setup, try and get this coyote to come in. At least one of them to come in. I think I can get this one back out there because I seen exactly where it liked to run that property line, where it crossed the fence. So what I did is I slid up here. I left my call on this cart. I'm about 50 yards out. I'm on a round cattle carousel, and I'm looking at that property line. So what I do, instead of going into the house again, I just go into coyote scrap, turn that on just a little bit, and it's not long, man. Took a little bit longer than the last time, but that coyote's coming right up that property line, turns in, and is heading right toward the call. I lip squeak, drop it right there, and I switch. I watched a video this week, and it was MFK talking, but they were talking about using pup sounds all year instead of burning your prey distress, instead of burning all your calls with prey distress. So what I did is I went into Icatech pup tussle, and I turned that on, and that next coyote come running out of there, that aggressive one, that barker. He came running out of there so fast. The bad thing about night vision, man, when they go down on the bottom of a hill on an incline, that IR sucks it up and you can't see it. That coyote ran the whole way out here to my call and made a loop and went back in there and still howled and was barking at me. So I know that I can come back and get that aggressive coyote. I think I'm going to try it even in the daylight, right on that border, getting that coyote in there. But right now, man, it is a great time to get out here in South Carolina. Breeding season's coming up. I was going back and forth with that one that was barking at me for the longest time. But man, when I hit that pup tussle or pup sounds, that's when both of these came in. Instead of going to prey, I went to them young pups fighting, coyote scrap, anything like that, and they just come a running. I think these coyotes are out here. They're really fighting right now for territory, setting up their territories. Females are setting up their territories. The males are fighting for those females. And man, we dropped another one. I know it's going to get hot here. I'm off 3 days this weekend. It's going to get really hot here in South Carolina now because they're sounding off everywhere. Get out there now if you can. Try a couple of these sounds. And thanks for liking, watching, subscribing. Got much more to come here. I know we're going to be on them pretty soon.